Okay, sir, if you don't mind, please give me your name, first name, middle initial, last name, and spell for me, please.
Okay, my name's, I go by Mike Lanpolsaen. Last name spelled Lanpolsaen, but my given name is Vira, V-I-R-A.
Okay. The name of the interviewer is Douglas Halpaska. The location is 29 Palms, California, Marine Corps Air Ground Combat Center. We're at the Lima Company, or the 37's command building.
Yes.
And the unit that we're discussing today is Lima Company, 3rd Battalion, 7th Marines, 1st Marine Division. Sir, if you don't mind, would you just give me the dates of the deployment and just kind of give a brief explanation of what time period we're talking about?
All right, the deployment we're talking about is OIF 3. I was with Lima Company, serving as a company first sergeant. We deployed in September of 2005 and got back here in 29 Palms in March of 2006.
Okay. And your bill at that time, you said, was first sergeant of the company?
Yes.
Okay. I understand that during that time there was some pivotal events taking place in Ramadi, Iraq. If you don't mind, sir, would you just share some of those experiences with us, and what it is that you actually saw at those times?
Yeah, pretty much the whole deployment was some major events for the company. Not only did we experience loss of lives and Marines maimed, loss of limbs and everything like that, but there were other Marines that were seriously wounded. Every month that we were there, from September to the end of the deployment, we had a major event in each of those months to where somebody in the battalion or the company was hurt or killed.
Yeah, I understand from some of the earlier interviews we had that everyone wanted me to understand that it was a fight the whole time.
Yes.
There was just certain times, like I believe the first one was October 4th. It was Operation Bowie, I think it was. I understand there was an IED attack and you were nearby. Would you, like I said, just kind of give us a rundown of that day's events?
Operation Bowie was a battalion sized event. We were clearing to the south of the city. We had Iraqi army attached to us, and during the insert or the clearing portion of the exercise, our company split into two parts. The lead elements pushed down south by the railroad tracks, and my element that I was attached with had the Iraqi armies, and we were dropping them off further north to clear the streets.
What kind of vehicles were you using? Were those like 7 tons or kind of a combination of?
Yes, it's a combination of all vehicles. We had 7 tons, we had hardback gun trucks and highbacks,
okay.
Humvees.
So the Iraqis didn't really have the assets at that time, so that's why you were working strictly with the, I say strictly, you were working with the Iraqi army that day?
Yes, we were what we call inserting the Iraqi army, and they were riding in the back of the 7-ton. And as we were inserting the Iraqi army, we got a call for a casualty evac because our lead vehicle on the other section was hit by an IED, daisy chain IED.
Would you mind real quick just explaining what a daisy chain is?
Daisy chain IED is nothing more than several bombs attached together to go off simultaneously. It has a larger effect in that it covers more of an area on the road.
Okay.
So instead of just hitting one part of that road, you can hit like 3 or 4 vehicles at one time. And as a matter of fact, it neutralized 2 of our vehicles, destroyed the first one, and then the second vehicle got hit by an IED as well. And fortunately, we didn't have any injuries from the second vehicle.
Okay, so as soon as the first one went off, the second and third one
Yes.
went off about the same time?
Just about simultaneously, yes.
So if you have your convoy lined up just right, you could theoretically be hit by each IED?
Yes, yes.
So what are these IEDs? I mean, what are they using? I've heard that mostly it was the IED of choice around Ramadi was 355 millimeter artillery shells wrapped together. But I also heard that the insurgents in that area were fond of using some kind of combustible with it, so that whenever
I think the one that hit us were some kind of more artillery shell. I don't know if they were 155 millimeter taped together or not, but there were some remnants of 80 millimeter and some 60 millimeter fins that we found on site. But yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. Sometimes they do attach propane tanks or acetylene tanks to make it more combustible and flammable.
Okay.
But the October 4th event did not have that attached to it. It was just the artillery shells that did the catastrophic kill on our vehicle.
Okay. Where were you? You said you were. You heard over the radio that there was a casevac taking place.
Yes.
At that time, what were you thinking, and then what did you end up doing? As a company first sergeant, I assume you're required to be there, or you want to be there if
Yes.
your Marines are the ones injured.
Absolutely. The sections that I was with were immediately pulled out. 2 gun trucks had to stay to provide security for the Iraqi army, and then I took 2 vehicles, 2 gun trucks to provide security for my vehicle, which is the cash evac vehicle, and we
Which was
we
what, just a high back or
yes,
something?
a high back Humvee capable of carrying 2-3 casualties in the back with my corpsman and my driver and my security element.
So this was an actual Humvee ambulance.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Humvee ambulance. So we pushed down. It took us about 5 minutes to get down to where the IED had striked, and that's where we saw the chaos and the destruction.
So what? At that point, I understand Lieutenant Watson. At that time, he was a company XO for Lima.
Yes.
He ended up moving Lieutenant Hendricks.
Yes.
Were you there before or after that? Or?
I got there after they had already been moved. As a matter of fact, as we were pulling up, the other vehicle had already evacuated most of the serious guys already. Although we had a Marine still trapped under one of the gun truck there, and that's the one that we worked on. And we also found another Marine that was killed next to the vehicle.
Okay, the Marine that was killed, that was
Lance Corporal Bedard.
Bedard.
Yes, Bedard.
And he was trapped in the vehicle.
No, he wasn't trapped. He was blown. He was the driver of the vehicle. He got blown out about 30 feet away from the vehicle, and no one had actually seen him yet. And as we ran up, or as my ambulance and my crew pulled up to the scene, we were assessing the situation, trying to, looked around, and that's where we found Bedard laying in the berm there.
Oh,
and we were the first one to actually, and the corpsman determined that, yeah, he's gone.
I assume when he died, from what I understand, he took most of the blast. The way the IEDs are designed, the blast comes up under the Hummer, and I believe, from what I've been told, that the armor under his seat failed or wasn't there, and so he took the majority of the blast. So he was, I understand, dead immediately, as opposed to just.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, he died instantly as soon as that blast went off. I mean, for the compression and the blast, the shock wave and everything coming out from underneath that vehicle, and for the force of that blast, because where the IED detonated, it was directly underneath the driver's side. That's why some of the Marines on the passenger and on the A driver side, did receive some significant injuries, but not as bad as the ones that were on the driver's side.
Okay. Who was and I believe it was that Hummer that the gun turret, he was trapped under the vehicle?
Right. Lance Corporal Seeley was the gunner who was sitting in the turret. He was the one that was trapped underneath the vehicle for quite some time.
And what injuries did he sustain? I've heard several different. I heard that he crushed his hand, and another person told me that he actually was injured pretty bad.